It started with silence, an aching, echoing silence that no one expected from LEEMINHO. The man who had once been so bold in matters of the heart, so fearless when facing love, suddenly backed down. But why? What changed? What made him walk away from Song Hye-kyo, just when fans believed something beautiful was finally blooming between them? Stay with us as we reveal the heartbreaking twist that left fans speechless and LEEMINHO's heart quietly shattered. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss another story about your favorite stars and the real emotions behind the scenes. Rumors had been swirling for months. Whispers of late-night phone calls, private dinners, and lingering glances on shared stages had turned into headlines and fan theories. LEEMINHO and Song Hye-kyo, two of South Korea's most beloved stars, both stunning, both successful, both once scarred by past love, had started appearing in the same breath. And it didn't take long before fans began to dream of what could be. It was subtle at first. LEEMINHO liking a post that featured Song Hye-kyo. Song Hye-kyo following a brand right after LEEMINHO endorsed it. Then came the fateful event, a fashion gala in Seoul where both stars were in attendance. Cameras captured the moment. The eye contact, the brief smile, the warmth that couldn't be hidden. Social media exploded. Fans began to believe this wasn't just coincidence. This was chemistry. Behind the scenes, insiders confirmed that the two had indeed grown close. A friend of LEEMINHO shared anonymously that he had been deeply impressed by Hye-kyo's resilience and grace. After all, she had gone through so much. Public heartbreak, constant scrutiny, and still she stood tall. That strength, LEEMINHO admitted in private, was what drew him in. But what fans didn't know, what even LEEMINHO didn't expect, was the storm that was brewing quietly in the background. A storm named Song Joong-ki. Song Joong-ki and Song Hye-kyo's relationship had once captivated the entire nation. Their descendants of the Sun romance translated beautifully from screen to real life. But when it ended, the wounds ran deep. Though they rarely spoke about it publicly, the emotions lingered, and perhaps always would. When Joong-ki heard about the growing connection between Hye-kyo and LEEMINHO, something in him stirred. Enough to make a statement that would change everything. It wasn't a press conference. It wasn't even an interview. It was a simple comment made during a casual conversation with a journalist friend. But that comment made its way into the headlines. Some things deserve closure before new beginnings. That's all I'll say. Though he never named names, everyone knew exactly what he meant. And so did LEEMINHO. He read the words in silence. For hours, he didn't respond to anyone. Not his manager, not his friends, not even Song Hye-kyo. He stared at the screen, those words replaying in his mind. He knew what Joong-ki was implying. He was warning him, reminding him of an unhealed chapter, of a bond that still had threads unbroken. For the first time, LEEMINHO hesitated, not because he didn't care for Song Hye-kyo, but because he respected her too much to become a new wound in her life. He didn't want to be the man she leaned on before she was truly ready. And more than anything, he didn't want to be a part of something that could reopen old scars. Song Hye-kyo, too, had seen the quote, and though she never said it aloud, those words pierced her. She hadn't spoken to Song Joong-ki in months. They had gone their separate ways, each choosing silence over confrontation. But his words reminded her that the world still saw them as unfinished. And maybe deep down, she wasn't quite ready to deny that. The next time LEEMINHO and Song Hye-kyo met, it was different. The smiles were more guarded. The warmth still lingered, but so did the hesitation. Over dinner, they spoke of work, of travel, of dreams. But they didn't speak of them. Not directly. Not anymore. He looked at her with eyes full of unspoken emotion. She looked back with a soft smile that said, "I understand." And that was enough. Enough to know that sometimes, love isn't always about possession or pursuit. Sometimes it's about respect, timing, and letting go. In the weeks that followed, fans noticed the shift. No more cryptic posts. No more subtle interactions. It was as if both stars had agreed silently to take a step back. The dream of a LEEMINHO and Song Hye-kyo romance faded quietly, leaving behind only the echoes of what could have been. For LEEMINHO, it wasn't easy. He had truly admired her. More than just a crush, it had been something deeper. But he knew that moving forward meant allowing her the space to fully heal, to find her own path without the pressure of public expectation or emotional burden. He buried himself in work, taking on new roles, traveling more, surrounding himself with people who reminded him of who he was before the headlines. And while he smiled for the cameras, those closest to him knew that behind that smile was a quiet ache. As for Song Hye-kyo, she continued to shine. She launched new projects, stepped into new roles, and exuded a strength that reminded everyone why she had remained one of Korea's most respected actresses. Yet, in quiet moments, she too thought about what could have been, about the man who had the courage to walk away, not because he didn't care, but because he cared too much. The entertainment industry moved on, as it always does. New headlines took over, new rumors stirred. But for many fans, the story of Lee-min-ho and Song Hye-kyo remained a poignant reminder that not all love stories end with a kiss. Some end with a respectful goodbye, with hearts that break silently, and with choices made not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. Months later, during a press event, Lee-min-ho was asked about love. The interviewer casually brought up the rumors of his past connection with Song Hye-kyo. For a brief moment, he hesitated. Then he simply said, "Some people leave a mark on your life even if they don't stay in it. I'll always wish her the best." It was a short answer, but enough to confirm everything. Enough to show that whatever they had, it was real. Brief but real. And Song Hye-kyo, in an interview of her own, she was asked if she was open to love again. She smiled gently and replied, "Love. Sometimes it's not about being together. Sometimes it's about having met the right person at the wrong time. I think that's okay." With those words, the chapter was closed, not with bitterness, but with grace. So many fans had rooted for them, prayed for a miracle that would bring them together. But what they got was something even more profound. A story of emotional maturity, of choosing peace over pressure, and of two people who walked away, not because they weren't in sync, but because the world around them wasn't. It's easy to chase what we want. It's harder to walk away from it. But sometimes that's what true love looks like. Quiet, selfless, and strong enough to let go. Lee-min-ho gave up on Song Hye-kyo, but not because she wasn't worth it. He gave up because he wanted her to have the freedom to heal, to grow, and to move forward without confusion. And in doing so, he showed the kind of man he really is. One who chooses integrity, even when it hurts. And maybe someday, if the timing is right and the past no longer casts a shadow, their paths might cross again. Not as rumors or missed chances, but as two people finally free to begin. Until then, this remains a hoped. And if you haven't already, subscribe to stay updated on the real stories behind your favorite stars.